Well, I mean, you got to credit an unbelievable lineup of hitters that can do that kind of damage that often. They swing it really well. I thought, I told the team this, Riley's been struggling this year up and down. She's had some good moments, but certainly not the year overall that she had last year. She beat them twice last year, and Tennessee once had some big wins last year, and this year she hasn't been able to find that same rhythm, whether it's sophomore slump or whatever it may be called. She hasn't been able to be the elite level pitcher that we know she's capable of being. And you can have, as I told the team, you can have 8 players on top of their game, but if in our sport, if you don't have the one in the circle on top of her game, even if she's giving you everything she's got, if you can't pitch to that level against elite level hitting teams like Texas, then it's going to be a long day. And she just we couldn't get people out, and they were hitting it hard and past people. So, don't point fingers, but it starts in the circle, and everybody knows that knows the sport, and they took advantage of that. She was in the zone. She wasn't having trouble really locating, but it seemed as though the ball was kind of flat, not getting the spins and movement that she's capable of getting, not changing the speeds as well. Hitting's timing, and you got to disrupt that to have some success, and we were just not missing bats.
Coach, you've seen a lot of great teams where a lot of great offenses. You see this Texas and Oklahoma offenses. How do you put in words going up against them as many times as you've had to this year?
Yeah. Well, I hope we get some consideration from the NCAA committee with the 7 games against the number 1 ranked team in the country. I think I'm proud of the girls for withstanding that, and we've competed in a few of those. Not well enough to win any of them, but we've competed, and we have a depleted pitching staff. So I could bring Benford back in that situation and make this look a little more respectable probably, but we've done what we need to do to solidify next weekend. So I wanted to make sure that she's healthy, and that makes no sense to do that. And the rest of our pitching staff's given us everything we've got, everything they've got. So. To answer your question, those offenses are good and very good. Don't want to take anything away from them, but they look a lot better whenever you aren't able to bring, or you don't choose to bring Benford back in that situation. And we've had a couple of games that have gotten away from us from a scoring standpoint this year because we went deep into our bullpen rather than bring back a pitcher that could just give us maybe somewhat of a more respectable score at the end. And I just choose to try to keep our pitchers as healthy as possible because we've got enough depletion as it is.
I guess on the flip side, what made it so tough to attack Tegan for y'all's offense? I mean, I know y'all saw her earlier in the year, but she was really
I kind of see it a little bit different, Michael. I think she was having a little bit of trouble spotting earlier, and I thought we were not chasing those, and they got an outstanding defense too, so they didn't give us anything. I knew they would be stingy defensively, but I thought we barreled up some balls and had some quality at bats. You've got to beat a team like Texas or like Oklahoma, 1-0, 2-1. You got to be able to hold that offense down with pitching. And the times that we've beaten them in the past, that's what we've done. You're not going to score a ton of runs. They got 4 other arms over in the bullpen waiting to get in there, and they're healthy and they're throwing well. So you're not going to have a high scoring game and win those games, or we're not anyway.
And then what do you see from Ava going in there? I know she struggled early in the year, but I mean she also showed you some good stuff.
Well, Ava's a role playing pitcher, and she hasn't had an opportunity really to do much this year because we haven't used her, and I don't want to say she's a batting practice pitcher because that's an insult to her. She's got a role to play, and it's not typically in Power 5 games. Tonight we needed her to go in and get us through some innings, and really was amazed at how well she did. She disrupted their timing better than the ones that have been out there for the whole season, and gave us a little bit of energy. The dugout's going to cheer for the underdog a little bit, and she hadn't had many opportunities for her to go out there and face that lineup and mix it up a little bit, throw some change-ups. Really was extremely proud of her, and thought this was a big game for her. She deserved, if we were going to give a game ball to a team that just got beat by 12 runs, that she deserved it.
Coach, obviously we talked before the year about the depth of this league and the Big 12. Now as we get to Selection Sunday, you're gonna be in. What would you tell the committee about the Big 12 in 2024 as they, perhaps get 6, 7 bids maybe perhaps to the.
I think I said it last night, I think we deserve 7 teams, and, and a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I don't know about, you're looking at conferences like the Southland, I know Southeastern won today, is McNeese gonna get in, those take teams from us whenever they, the one that that's expected to go in doesn't, win the tournament for the AQ, and, I just think this is an outstanding conference. I think you do have, a couple of elite level teams, 3 elite level teams that are as good as anybody in the country, and then you go to the next level where I think we fit in there. Then, there's 4 teams that are capable of winning. BYU took one from OU this year, and the resumes are going to speak for themselves. They're going to pick through it and decide head-to-head competition, things like that. I know, but it'll be a shame if we don't get 6 or 7 teams in as a number 2 RPI conference in the country, and we've been number 1 at times, and we finished last year as number 1 RPI conference in the country. So I think we're deserving of 7 teams, and I'd push hard for that if I had a voice.